Us humans are an inventive bunch. We see a problem, we fix problem. It's a dance as old as time. While some of our greatest achievements might have been total accidents, others are exceptionally engineered to fix problems you never thought existed. Health and safety? Psh, never heard of it. You're gonna be drinking dirty water and riding a bus full of pee by the time I'm done with you. So get ready for some ingenious inventions that should be implemented everywhere. Alcazal! I need a towel. Ugh, magicians make me feel uneasy. Why does the rabbit pulled from the hat always look like it's seen some dark stuff in there? I guess credit where it's due, they do have some creative inventions, like French magician Moula, who's crafted an umbrella that floats above your head. This isn't magic though, it's got a freaking drone on it. Awesome. The drone-brella can be controlled through a phone app, but also has AI software which detects the top of your head via a sensor and uses it to automatically follow you. All of that tech makes it pretty pricey though. At around $275, you'd kick yourself for leaving this umbrella on the bus. But hey, hopefully it could track you down again afterwards. Despite the hefty price tag though, it looks like there's still a few fundamental kinks to iron out. Let's address the soggy French magician in the room. He's sauntering around Paris soaking wet like he's in a fragrance advert. I wouldn't say that passes the umbrella test. It also doesn't fare too well in the wind, and if you're a city dweller like me, forget it. All those power lines, low-hanging signs, and, other people are going to present major obstacles for your floating friend. But aside from those, hiccups, this looks like a handy, or hands-free little gizmo. With some tweaking, I could definitely see a future where these are more commonplace. What's next? Robotic beach towels that tell you how much sand is in your butt crack? Wait, that's a good idea. Somebody write that down. Watkins diet. I've tried every diet under the sun. Atkins, keto, paleo, but maybe weight loss has nothing to do with diet or exercise, and instead, wait for it, the utensils I'm eating with. These are electric chopsticks, and if you're wondering what exactly they electrify, it's you. What? More specifically, it's your tongue. Now before you panic, they're shockingly smart. The chopsticks attach to a small wearable computer via a wire. This computer emits a tiny electrical impulse through the chopsticks that mimics the salty taste in food. Well, our taste receptors function in part due to ion channels that communicate directly with our brain. These channels can be short-circuited by electricity, altering how we taste things. So depending on the current passed through them, the chopsticks can either enhance or reduce the potency of salt in your food. Damn. You see, high-salt diets are a massive global health problem and a cause of high blood pressure, heart disease, and even strokes. We only need about 500 milligrams of sodium a day, which is a measly 1/16 of a teaspoon. Yet the average American consumes a staggering 3,400 milligrams. Electric stimulation could reduce salt intake by a whopping 30% without sacrificing any flavor. And over 80% of shock stick testers said the stimulation was pleasant enough to use the cutlery every day. I'm down to try a few hair-raising meals if it means I live a little longer. What about you? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. P-Bus. Nowadays, we're all trying to do a bit more for the environment. Whether you're buying less plastic or taking public transport to work, every little bit helps. Well, commuters in Bristol, England have found their morning journey to work has gotten a whole lot crappier. Their bus is powered by poop and pee. I'm sorry, what now? These are bio buses. And yep, that's people going number 2 printed on the side. Instead of running on fossil fuels and releasing harmful fumes into the environment, they use biomethane. Both fossil fuels and biomethane are made from decomposing organic waste, but fossil fuels take millions of years to break down underground, whereas biomethane comes from fresh organic waste. By heating up sewage and food waste at a custom fuel plant just outside the city, they release the methane into a load of clever stuff to turn it into fuel. The natural waste releases methane gas as it decomposes anyways, and that's bad for the environment. So by using it as fuel, you're offsetting the damage and putting it towards something good. And it really works. Compared to the old diesel engines they were using, the doo-doo mobile produces up to 30% less carbon dioxide and 80% fewer nitrogen oxides, both of which have a big effect on climate change. What do you think? Should we make the switch to poop power? It sounds great for everyone, except those who like the smell of traditional gas. Hopefully filling up your car doesn't get a lot eggier. I know a place you can fuel up that definitely doesn't stink. My YouTube channel. You've just got to hit those like and subscribe buttons, and I'll keep you pumped full of more amazing facts than you can handle. Nice job. Let's get back to the video. Sneakers, not leakers. My mom always nagged me to take a coat whenever I went out. I never did, so I got absolutely soaked, and when I got wet, I looked like a drowned walrus. Luckily for me, Australian design studio Sibling have created a super stylish pair of sneakers that double as an even more stylish tent. Excuse me? Yep, the so-called walking shelter allows the wearer to unfurl a tent from their ankles and pull it up over their head whilst looking like a fashion icon the whole time. 2 waterproof sheets unfurl from each shoe and attach together with Velcro. Most regular tents need poles to support them, which are cumbersome and heavy. But pop this contraption over your head and bam! You are the poles. It's even got little loops to peg yourself to the ground in case it's windy. Okay, it's pretty goofy looking, but I'd much rather look like a 1980s tracksuit draped over a traffic cone than get soaked by a storm. Plus, I reckon there's room for a couple more in here if anyone fancies joining me. Want to know my favorite invention though? It's my beautiful moneymaker, of course. And the best way I've found of taking care of it is with an equally awesome invention from this video's partner, Foreo. These stunning sweets have dazzled the beauty world with their T-Sonic technology, giving your skin professional level treatment from the comfort of your own home. After spending 10 years developing their prototype, consulting numerous experts in dermatology and cellular biology, along with estheticians, the Foreo Luna brush range was created. And it just so happens that the Luna 4 is my favorite product. The bacteria-resistant silicone bristles clean deeply into your pores, preventing inflammation and breakouts. But I've also started using the UFO 2 whenever I use face masks. The pulsation lets the mask ingredient sink deeper into my skin, resulting in, I think we can all agree, a much more handsome visage. So click the link in the description and use the code AMAZED20 for 20% off their devices. Who knows? Maybe you could look as good as me one day. Now where were we? Black, white, or both? Anyone who's bought a new car knows that the hardest decision isn't what's under the hood or the trunk space. Nope, it's what color you get it in. Whether you drive a Hummer or a Hyundai, we all want to look sleek and sexy, right? Well, this sweet new ride by BMW, the iX Flow, can change color with just the press of a button. Check it out. That's so cool. And it's super smart too. The body of the car is covered in something called electrophoretic film, which sounds super sciencey, but it's really quite simple. By sending an electric current through the film, thousands of tiny capsules are stimulated, each the diameter of a single human hair. Inside these capsules are different colored particles which react depending on the electric charge sent through them. So by alternating between a positive and negative electric charge, you can change the color of your car. Genius. And it's not just for looking cool, it can also help keep you cool. Because white and black absorb different amounts of light, it can affect the internal temperature of the car as well. If it's a hot day and you set your car to white, it's going to reflect more of the light that touches it, meaning the car will stay cooler. Neato. I can't wait until they start making t-shirts from this stuff. Hey guys, check it out. I'm me. No, I'm Batman. Now I'm me again. Radical Roadworks. So you've bought your swanky new car, but now all you seem to do is sit in traffic. Oh mother, that's annoying. Well, Serbian designer Damjan Stankovic has made sitting in traffic just that little bit more tolerable. He's modified a stoplight with a countdown timer. An outer ring with 32 segment ticks on, letting you know exactly how much longer you'll be held on red for. But it's not just good for drivers. Pedestrians can also see how long they've got to cross safely. The only downside is some fools are bound to treat this like a Mario Kart countdown. Regardless, it's undoubtedly handy. But why stop at stoplights? What if we made roads themselves more useful? Well, that's a problem companies around the world are trying to bust. What if instead of asphalt roads, we built solar-powered ones? It sounds wild, but think about it. Our cities are filled with roads, sidewalks, and driveways. By modifying these with solar panels, we could create loads of renewable energy whilst conserving a lot of the land that's currently being set aside for these projects. Though still in its early stages, tests of the technology are underway in China and elsewhere. So we could be seeing these roads sooner rather than later. You could even engineer them to be self-heating to melt snow and ice. Cool. Or warm? Unsweet melody. I'm always trying to find a way to make tinkle time more fun. I tried taking a joke book with me, but I always finish before I get to the punchline. I still don't know why that chicken crossed the road. Anyways, this bathroom in Sao Paulo might have found the most musical way to take a leak ever. They've transformed a urinal into a fully working guitar. Man, they don't call it the land of drizzle for nothing. Just please, nobody play Wonderwall. By aiming your stream at the buttons in the bowl, an amplifier overhead plays corresponding notes. So whilst your guitar gently seeps, you can create a masterpiece. And you can even get your compositions sent to your phone. Yes, they are MP3s. Let's face it, fellas, sometimes we need a little assistance with aiming. I'm just not sure going number one right next to a load of electrics is the encouragement I need. Even so, any rational person would want to use this as much as they can, right? Well, if you're old enough, I've got one simple solution. Beer! Not just any beer, but this big old pitcher with a nifty ice compartment. That way your beer stays nice and cold. You can thank me later. Right now, I'm gonna lay down a face-melting solo. You get the next round in. Transform a home. Every fancy home trend has had its 15 minutes of internet fame. We've had tiny homes and van homes, but have you ever seen a transformer home? Guys, the future is here, and it looks badass. These self-assembling houses are the brainchild of British architect David Martin, and they can triple in size to around 689 square feet in just 10 minutes, all from pressing one button. The fold-out houses have a system of levers that operate on a pretty simple system. If one thing goes up, another must come down. Balance, baby. That's phenomenal, but it's no good having a folding house that stays in the same place, right? They're purpose-built to fit on the back of a truck so you can whisk your luxury lodging anywhere you want. Oh wait, there's more. Once they're fully unfolded, the possibilities are endless. Aside from a cozy place to spend the night, you could put schools, medical centers, even safe shelters for disaster relief inside. Alright, let me guess, these cost a bomb. Well, actually no. Price estimates start from around $130,000, which for an entire house is pretty reasonable. But I'd guess the truck isn't included. Now the tech is super cool and the implementation is faultless, so what's the catch? Well, unfortunately, the houses are still in pre-production at the time I'm making this video. But with any luck, they're out by the time you're watching it. Gadzooks! I want one. Pump up the jam. The world's full of wonderful and not so wonderful smells. Like this kid I sat next to in class, Gary Manigan. He smelled like wet dogs and Funyuns. Gross. But British department store Harrods have a brilliant smell before we sell set up for wines and spirits. Customers can use their superb schnozzes to sniff out a good purchase before they commit to anything they aren't going to like. Inside a glass cloche, they've displayed objects that mirror the tasting notes of the drink. By squeezing a rubber pump attached to a copper pipe, the scent of the object is pushed through it and out of the horn so you can baste your nostrils with the wonderful aromas. Neato. If you prefer floral scents, there's cherry blossoms. If you like earthy tones, they've got coffee beans or pencil shavings for something woodier. And if you like Gary Manigan, this one's filled with wet dogs and Funyuns. Okay, I made that up. No one's gonna buy that. Seriously though, this is a creative way for people to try something without dishing out free samples. I just hope they're changing those tomatoes out on the regular, otherwise they're gonna honk like my gym socks. Appealing apples. I'm trying to be healthier, but it's not going well. Whenever I buy fruit, I just forget about it. But one health-conscious hero in New South Wales, Australia shared a hasty hack for peeling apples that I'm definitely going to try out, if I remember. All you need is a vegetable peeler, a steady hand, and a power drill. What? The skin will come off in about 3 seconds. However, you'll also have apple skin confetti strewn across your kitchen. I'm giving this a gold star for ingenuity and a D- for the mess. Okay, so that's my apples sorted, but what about my nanas? Whenever I buy a bunch, they're all either too hard or too mushy. Well, my local grocery store could learn a thing or two from South Korea. They sell bananas in 1-a-day packs, with the leftmost fruit being the ripest to the rightmost being the greenest. By the time you get to nana number 6, it'll be as ripe as number 1 was. Honestly, space travel? Pfft, this is humanity's greatest achievement right here. Can you kick it? Elevators aren't exactly a groundbreaking piece of technology, but we're constantly finding new ways to adapt them for our needs. Like, have you ever thought about how many grubby little fingers touch those buttons every day? Blech. Makes me feel queasy. Well, the elevators in the Seacon Square Mall in Bangkok, Thailand use foot pedals instead of conventional buttons to keep those dirty little hands away. Initially, it was integrated to prevent the Rona from spreading, but it's useful for more than just stopping germs. Imagine you're a delivery driver carrying some big boxes. You've just got to tap a toe and up you go. That's helpful on so many levels. Get it? And here's something else that's really gonna lift your spirits. Ever been in a sneaker store and had to ask the attendant for your size, only for them to leave you standing there in your socks for 20 minutes? Well, one store in London's notorious Oxford Street have made this a thing of the past. They've created a shoe elevator that brings the goods straight from the stockroom to the floor. Is this oddly satisfying for anyone else? I could watch it for hours. What other stores could do with a lift like this? Let me know down in the comments. Whole lot of holes. Want to hear something insane? 1/4 of the world's population drink contaminated water. Shockingly, that's 2 billion people. Without a reliable source of clean drinking water, their risk of ingesting parasites or sickness-causing bacteria is insanely high. Yuck. However, Swedish company Vestergaard have created what they call the Life Straw, a remarkable method of filtering out almost all the bad stuff from water, so you can enjoy all that wonderful H2O hydration no matter how dirty the water looks. No way. Yes way. See, Life Straw isn't just one big straw. It's actually a big bundle of straws peppered with microscopic holes. These holes let water in, but are too small for dirt, microplastics, and parasites to get through. And with a whopping 3.5 billion people contracting parasites every year, the straw has proven invaluable for the health of some of the world's most vulnerable people. Want to know the real kicker? It's under $20, and each straw can process 422 gallons of water before packing in. I might get one just so I can drink from the stankiest looking pond I can find. Speaking of tiny holes, ever seen a weird tool like this and wondered what it's for? Sadly, it's not for draining giant pans of gold. This is a mud release shovel. As someone who digs a lot of holes, don't ask for what, mud always sticks to my shovel head and stops it from working properly. But with a mud release shovel, the dirt hasn't got anything to stick to. It slips right through. So holes make for digging better holes. I think we've got a case of holeception. New highs, new lows. I've seen enough skateboarding fail videos to know that wheels and stairs aren't the best of friends. Whilst watching someone bail a nose grind can be funny, for people with reduced mobility it's no laughing matter. With traditional wheelchairs, many important places just aren't accessible. But there's a new wheelchair on the horizon. Instead of using a single wheel, designers are now trying to utilize something called cluster wheels. It's a bit like one big wheel made of multiple smaller wheels. The rotation allows the next wheel to grip onto the step above, pulling the user up the stairs. And as the old saying goes, what goes up must come down. How awesome is that? From what I can tell, they're still in the design stage, but hopefully we'll see these super chairs roll out, up, and down soon. And that's not the only hard-to-reach place busted by some clever thinking. Advertisers in Miami have found a way to make their message reach more people by putting billboards in the middle of the ocean. Who are they trying to sell to? Aquaman? Not quite. Miami's beaches get a lot of human traffic, so float a billboard in front of them, and kablamo! Everyone on the beach is gonna see it. I gotta give them credit, it's creative. But I go to the beach for a detox, not to have more ads rammed in my face. I don't want my sun lounger telling me to go to an osteopath. Hold on, that's another great idea. Leave a light on. You know, earlier I told you about elevators and their grimy little buttons? Well, have you ever considered how grimy escalator handrails could be? Thousands of people touch them every day, but I never see anyone cleaning them. That's where these clever little boxes come in. They shine ultraviolet light onto the handrails as the rails move past, killing any germs dead. But how can a light kill germs? Well, the UV rays prevent the replication of DNA and RNA, which carry the germ cell's genetic information. With no way of replicating their vital information, the germs die. It's a bit like you forgetting how to breathe. Yikes, sounds dangerous. Don't worry, it's harmless to us. While some UV rays can be damaging, like the ones we wear sunscreen to protect ourselves from, UVC, the germ-killing one, can't penetrate your skin. Man, science is cool. But don't rely on some brain box in a white coat to keep things clean. We can all do our part. This is a trash can in Norway. Hey, looks like a couple of people missed. Nope, this is deliberate. The country encourages recycling by taxing plastic bottles and offering the money back if the used bottles are brought to a recycling machine. Some people still toss their plastic in the trash though, and less fortunate people have taken to taking these tossed bottles to a machine to claim the money for themselves. To save those people rooting around in trash cans, this one has some handy slots on it for recyclable junk. Isn't that wholesome? Sometimes the simplest inventions have the biggest impact. Lazy laundrette. Man, doing chores sucks, especially laundry. You gotta get all the clothes, wash them, dry them, and iron them. It just takes so long. But I found a few trusted inventions that'll make laundry day a breeze. Clothes racks are a real eyesore and they take up space, so why not get one that lowers from the ceiling? This one from Foxy Dry can heat up so your clothes don't take forever to dry. Can you put a price on making chores more convenient? Yep, it's a whopping $490. Eep. That price is higher than my undies would be. But is a heated rack really that impressive? What about a closet that could clean your clothes for you? The Samsung Airdresser shoots hot steam to sanitize clothes, remove creases, and get rid of all that dusty, musty funk. It leaves clothes fresh as a daisy and completely wrinkle-free, as well as drying them with cool air. Plus, it cleans itself, so you don't have to. Whoa. It's not the best for hard-worn and stains though, which is bad news for me. I spill mustard on everything. But it's undeniably useful. A bigger problem is its price tag. At $2,400, it's too dear for me. No, I'm saving up for the real big gun, Laundry Jet, a home-integrated air suction machine that filters your dirties directly into the laundry area. Cool. A main pipe branches out into a system of ports that fit discreetly into the wall. Once opened, an air machine creates a small vacuum, sucking up anything from damp towels to sweaty gym shorts. That's not all. You can even have it fitted so a return loop can deliver your clean clothes back upstairs for you. That means no more carrying them about. Just pop them in the wall and boom! Now this isn't cheap. A full system can cost up to $15,000, and that's without delivery or setup. But it definitely makes chore days suck less by sucking more. You know what sucks more than chores? It's the end of the video. Which of these world-changing contraptions was your favorite? Let me know down in the comments below, and thanks for watching.